One of the world's leader in the number of public holidays is a country in Eastern Europe. This country is known as Lithuania, with its capital city in Vilnius, where boring is never an option. And trust me, we ain't here to keep you bored, rather to entertain, educate, and inform you of happenings, activities going on in daily life in various cities, countries, within and around the world. My name is Bok Yeping, and you know what time it is. It's the Midday Show live on ECWA Television Africa. Magdalene Azal, my beautiful sister, is also in the studio. As always, trust me, she will always be here. Magdalene,
it's not actually every time that someone feels beautiful.
Oh, really? She is beautiful to me, but she ain't feeling beautiful. Whatever the case may be, beautiful is there. And that's what we'll work with.
Okay, we'll be talking about Lithuania.
Oh, you don't want to say anything.
Well, you've said it all.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You better start feeling beautiful for our viewers.
I'll try.
Okay. All right, so today we'll be talking Lithuania. Actually, this country is one of the countries that you wouldn't just wake up to on a daily basis. Like, I mean, I'm sure so many people out there don't know about the country Lithuania, like hearing of it for the first time. But trust me, this country is an interesting one. And if you would love at all to move out of your country to another country or to a European country, trust me, Lithuania is one of those options that you should go for. Yes, it's my advice.
Yeah, I can remember what you said.
It or not.
You said you're not going to Kenya anymore. You're going to Lithuania.
No, I didn't say Kenya. Please, Magdalene, please.
Where did you say
Kenya is still in the list?
You said you were changing a country to Lithuania.
Yes, I said I don't want to go to America anymore. Like, I don't want to go to America. Not that I won't visit other countries in America, but I want to start from Europe. Like,
okay.
I just want to visit Lithuania first and then go back to other countries in Africa. And then I will keep traveling around
Then
the
you
world.
land in Europe. I mean, in America. Wow, that's nice. You know, just the way you said, in this country, actually, boring is not allowed. It's not an option. You can't be in that country and be bored. Like, they have several activities. They have so many things. And one thing I like about these people actually is their singing ability. These people sing throughout almost everything they do, like everything that they have to do in their lives. When they are in the office, you know, working, they sing. When they're in the farm, they sing. And then, you know, it is nice that they have like different songs for different occasions. During the war, they were singing during the war. And then the people right now, you know, sometimes they can just sit down and then think of all those songs that they were sung during the war, you know, for them to just start singing. You know, it's more like, and you know, when they are harvesting millet, they have different song. When they are weaving, they have different song. When they are, it's more like everything in this country has its own song, and it's actually amazing. You know, it takes you through the work, and then you won't even feel tired. And just imagine that you are in the farm working, and then somebody is singing. You know, it just makes you feel like, it makes you feel happy.
That's why it's called entertainment.
Yeah, you know, and the most important thing like is you entertain yourself. You don't even have to wait for somebody to come and entertain you. You entertain yourself. So it's actually, you know, a nice thing. And that's why they said these people are not boring, because they entertain themselves. Just imagine me entertaining myself, not to even talk of people around me. There will be so much entertainment, you know, to take at the end of the day.
Of course. And then when you talk about cities in this country, just like mostly the capital city where almost everybody lives in, because in this country, they are not really populated as much, and that's why you see most people work in the cities, go to school in the cities, and almost all activities and routines on daily basis, on year in year out, are similar. Like they almost are doing the same thing at the same time. But everybody would always have their own point of duty or line of duty, but it will never be the same. But when you talk about daily activities and how this life go up, these people, rather Lithuanians, go about their daily activities on daily basis, you would see that it's almost the same routine, because for workers or even students, no matter the level of education, you resume at 8 a.m. And you see, this country, you don't see people rushing up early in the morning just to try to beat up with traffic at the end of the day, but they wake up early for morning run, and then most times their place of work or the school is always within and around their city. And it's funny how that everybody in Lithuania do not get to travel more than 30 minutes before they get to their place of work or before they get to their schools or whatever it is that they have a transaction to do at the end of the day. It's always closer to them. Like their place is business environment, their workspace is always closer to where they live in. So it's almost like a planned work. Like this is how they plan. Yeah, they've planned it to be, and then you don't have to walk distance away from your home. And that's why you see home and work is what defines daily life in the country, from home to work and from work to the house. And then most times the weekends are free for them, because they will use the weekend to do all that they have to do. And that's why they value time. They would always want to plan ahead. Like, I know that from Monday to Friday, I have to wake up early, eat mild breakfast, and rush to work. I don't even have to rush, because my work place is not that far from home. It's always within 10-20 minutes journey, and then I'm already in the office. I don't have to worry about traffic. I don't have to worry about any other thing, but I have to just relax myself, enjoy my breakfast, get to work by 8 a.m. My lunchtime is by 12 to 1 p.m. And there's a way they go about this lunchtime that I really admire. That's the time. One thing, it's actually common with the Europeans, actually. Whenever it's time to eat, they forfeit whatsoever they are doing, and they don't care if they have to lose like any amount of money. As far as it is time to eat, they take their time to eat, because they value life, and then they believe that there are times you have to break in between to get yourself refreshed, or to just keep your body in check. Like, I mean, man must not live by bread alone. Of course, even though these people are Christians and then they believe in God, but there are things that your body, you would have to always answer to. When you're hungry, you should take out time to
That's
eat.
nature.
Yes, you shouldn't cheat in nature no matter what. And I believe that's what Europeans generally are known for. Like, this is one thing they have in common. And so Lithuania is not out of the equation, because whenever it's their lunchtime, they maximize it well. They patronize the restaurants around their offices, and you see some people who might even come to work with their food from home, and that's the time where you see them in the office kitchen trying to microwave what they brought from home and eat and other things. So they use their break time mostly just to eat. And most times they refer to their lunch as dinner, and then the dinner is always referred to as supper, because lunch rather in Lithuania is mostly like the primary meal of the day, because most of them would just take a cup of coffee in the morning, then they go to work, and lunch is when they eat their primary meal of the day, while the supper, which is as dinner in other parts of the world, is mostly light food, and always in the evening around 6 p.m. So that's how they always go about their daily activities and daily routine. And then when you comes back to the children now. The children, like, they always start school at age 6. So that's another opportunity, or that's like one thing too I actually admire about the Europeans, because they would always want their children to enjoy their childhood before they would start studying, or before they would start learning in the four walls of a classroom, because they believe that children should have the opportunity to have their childhood for themselves, not when a child is not even talking already and is sent to school, like most times in the kindergartens where they're supposed to be playing with their peers, and that's when you're already teaching them 1+1, you're already teaching them A is for apple and all of these things. And then you see, it's not like it doesn't work, but actually in most of these European countries, you see, this is what they do. Most children from age 1 to 5 are always at home. They would have time for family, like family have time for their children, and they would make sure that they train these children to that age where it is time for them to go to school, and then they start learning proper. They've known other things as children should know, and all the things that, like all the playgrounds and all of these things, yes, they have that time to do it within age 1 to 5, but when it's time for school, they start school proper at age 6, and you see they have all the time that they need. And you know, because of how smooth the education system is, actually it doesn't matter the age at which these children start their school, because they have all the facilities, and they have teachers who are willing and able, and who are like giving their best to see that yes, these children learn according to their age and according to their own ability at that point in time.
And you know, most of their works are actually very practical.
Yeah,
even at a young age, you know, you'd be seeing what you are thought. You're like, you'll be seeing it there, you touch it, you feel it, and then you understand better.
And you have the experience.
Definitely. And you know, the reason why these people allow their children to go to a certain level before they take them to school is because they would want to also understand their children and then know what their children's interests are before sending them to school. But most times, you know, most parents just feel like, okay, they are the parents, and then these children are actually children. They don't even know anything. They should be the ones to determine what they become in life, and then because they are still tender. But you know, these people try to monitor their children, understand their children before sending them to school. And they also understand the importance of a mother, you know, being close to her child before thinking of taking the child to school. Because you know, these children, this reminds me of my niece this morning when we were leaving. The way she was crying, following the mom. And I'm like, this is why these people don't really like, you know, sending their children to school this early, because they will just feel like the children sometimes will feel even traumatized in their minds, and then they'll be feeling like, okay, our parents don't even love us that much, why are they sending us away, or the mother going out. And that's why these people have a very long maternity leave. When a woman gives birth, you are given a long maternity leave for you to be able to, you know, stay with your child. And then the good thing is that their men too are also given
maternity leave.
They leave for them to be able to be there,
fully paid,
even weekends.
Yeah.
You know, for them to be able to be with their children, be with their family, understand what the woman is going through.
Magdalene, as you're talking, I know some daddies are saying, yeah, that's the idea.
But then it's unfortunate that it's not everywhere you get to see that a woman has given birth and then the husband too is also giving a time out from work to go and stay with a woman. But these people enjoy that, and that is why, you know, their children come out very smartly. But even though, you know, the internet has become something else in the life of these children, because most times these children have access to internet, access to very high quality technology. So they tend to like involve themselves, like sometimes they take way too much hours to be on internet. And on the internet, sometimes they feel like, okay, people on the other side appreciate them better than the people on the real side appreciate them. You know, sometimes some people can be going through a lot of challenges, but you know, internet is where you can just throw whatever you put there is whatever people see. So people out there will appreciate you more than the way people here in your real life are appreciating you, and that is why these people sometimes just get so closed into their media life to the extent that it has become something. And sometimes the bad effect is because you see all these things on the internet, you want to become it, you want to look like it, you want to like do whatever they are doing on the internet, and before you know it, because you can't afford, or probably because you can't have what you are seeing on the internet, it becomes a problem to them. You will see so many of them committing suicide, so many of them committing so many things, just because they feel like, okay, the internet life, is what they wanted, and then what they are actually thinking is not like that anymore. Before you know it, they become depressed, and some of them, you see them going to the hospitals because they need help and all those things, which is really, really bad. But then their parents, it's a good thing that their parents have actually annual leave for them to be able to, stay with the children at home. And you mentioned something also, having their workplaces close to their schools and then close to the home. The government is really, really trying on that part. It's a planned work actually, because they know that if you stay away from your home, already there's the mental instability that you will get. You have to rush to your workplace, and then sometimes you will see some parents, after rushing in the morning to the workplace, they still rush again in the afternoon to go carry their children from school. So it is more like the stress becomes overwhelming. It becomes too much that the person doesn't really concentrate on doing something well, and that is why it is important that if you're looking for a job, you should look for a job for where it is around. But it is because this government has provided a conducive environment for these people. If you don't have the opportunity, there is no way you can enjoy that. Just imagine that you get a job in like maybe in Bukuru, and then you are here, or you're in Ferengada, and you say, because it's far, you cannot go. You have to take the job no matter what. Even if you're going to be leaving your house 3 a.m. in the morning for you to get to Bukuru before the time for your work, you have to do it just because you need a job.
And at the end of the day, you don't just worry about your distance, like the distance of where you're living and your workplace. You have to worry about traffic again, which is actually something that you don't get to see in Lithuania.
People obey traffic orders. You definitely, all the junctions, you definitely see the street lights and everything. See, a traffic order doesn't even have to be human there for them to, tell them, okay, move or not. In this part of the world, you hardly see traffic lights working. And even if they work, people don't appreciate
even when
it. People don't
people
obey.
Assume they are not working.
Yes, they just don't obey it. And then to the extent that when it gets bad, I don't know if it's the government. I would say they don't. Yeah, we should still blame them, because even if it gets bad,
so we should blame the government for this gadget not working.
But the thing is, when it gets bad, they should be able to repair it, even though the people don't obey it, so that the blame shouldn't be on them.
But even when these things are there, they are working, we are supposed to be observing and follow them. Like, these are more like, rather than having people stay under the sun, this is what is replacing people. We don't even obey, and just like I mentioned, we assume they don't work, and we decide to take it up for ourselves.
But
and when it's not your turn, and most times, even when there are no traffic lights or all of these things, or traffic warders at some positions, you by yourself, you have this driving education. You know when you should take this way and when you shouldn't take that way. I mean, it is common sense, but you can see that people today, like, let this thing, just because we are in a hurry to get somewhere, just because we want to meet up with a deadline or something, and trying to beat up traffic, at the end of the day, we create more traffic at the end of the day. So you can see how these things are simple and easy,
the good thing with these people
understand
is
them.
that even if you don't see a traffic warder there, the traffic warders are actually there. They are in their vans. Most times you will just see the traffic lights giving you all the instructions, and when you disobey, that's when you understand that actually human was there. And then before you know, you will see their van following you and all. Then whatever the case will turn out to be, you know, you have to pay a fine and all those things. So most times people just tend to ignore having this kind of, you know, complicated life and just follow the instructions, and that is why their life is going on smoothly. And when you still talk about these people and then their activities, you definitely know that their movie industries. I like their movie industry because most of their movies, they like to translate like the human soul. Like when you're watching it, you get to understand, you get to feel someone's pain. And I'm sure Yepi will be the last person that will want to watch these people's movies, because you will cry, because you are a crying
Magdalene,
baby.
did you just say that on international TV? Like, seriously?
Well, that you said they are here to be informed. You know?
Oh,
yes.
We're informing them about Lithuania.
Yes, and their movie
we're
industry.
talking about one of the countries in Europe that has the greenest cities in the world. Like, this is a country that is recognized with so many things, not just the movie industry, just like you've mentioned. And then not talking about my emotions while I watch
But we are talking about their movies.
We are talking about Lithuania.
Yes, and then their movie industry, most times they translate, like they try to make you understand what people are going through out there. And you know, these people actually, it's not like they are having fun. They are busy, like their life has like quite a balance when you talk about recreational activities, when you talk about their workspace, when you talk about their life in person. But still yet you would get to know that they try to, you know, when somebody is going through a lot, they try to make you understand that this person is going through a lot and people need to be there for them. And then most times you see, when there are people really love watching their local movies, you see them going to the cinemas to watch, and you see them crying, cleaning, and doing all those things. It's because these people even have love in their minds, you know, to share. I don't know if that's the reason why you always cry when you're watching movies, especially movies that are not really so touching like that, but you see,
wow,
you know, you're already emotional about it. But then that is what these people are doing. And the movie industry is really moving, and you will see the young people, even the older people, going to the theater to watch movies. And another thing again is their music. You know, these people, their entertainment is actually strong, and they really love their local entertainment. When you talk about the song, I know most times I talked about the song, and I said they have songs for occasions. And when you go to their village occasions, you will definitely see people that are, you know, always ready, you know, to stay and entertain people locally. And they have, in the cities, they have theaters where you would see people acting and then singing these original songs, you know, probably, you know, acting from the way back when the war was happening, and then some kind of songs that they sang on that during that time. And you see this, like the rich people, and then not even the rich people. Sometimes it can just be like, okay, it's something that people need to come and watch and appreciate the arts of the country. Then you see people going there watching, you know, and then just putting their minds into what happened before, and then how what they were facing, and then what it is now. So, you know, sometimes you will really see these things and then appreciate life, and then appreciate the fact that you were not even born at that time for you to be able to, for you to be even seeing all those things. But you know, we on this other part, sometimes we'll be like, then and now is almost like the same, because so many terrible things are happening already, and then you'll be feeling like, why are these things, you know, still going on by this time? Is it that we are not doing something right, or is it that there is no way out? Sometimes you just be thinking so many things, but you know, these people is more like God has given them everything for them to enjoy their lives. You know, everything is going on. When you talk about educational sector, nobody is being kidnapped. People are just going to school, you know, are freely enjoying their lives, enjoying education. And one thing with their education is that if you are not trained, it's not possible that you will be a teacher there. If you are not trained, you can't even go close to any school, not to even talk of, you know, you being a teacher around there. And you have to be able to, you know, converse with children. Most people don't really know. Some people, I don't know how a teacher can be a teacher without the person being able to, associate with young people so well. And you see, sometimes some people just go to school to teach because they just want to teach, or maybe they have knowledge on something, but they don't really have knowledge on, controlling the children, or something. So sometimes they find it difficult, balancing the two. And at the end of the day, in Lithuania, you will definitely not be a teacher.
Of course, in Lithuania, you cannot be a teacher like that. And that's why these people are actually like the best. When you talk about professions, when you talk about discipline, teachers are given priority in this country. And that's why they have the brightest minds that you can talk about. And one thing with these people is the fact that they are so like not loud about everything, but it's like they almost have it all. They have
That's
it all. And just like
you.
yes, and just like you've mentioned, it's like God has given them everything. I mean, God has given us all everything, but these people have decided to maximize what God has blessed them with, and then they appreciate what they have, and they are trying to just utilize every part of it, and they love enjoying every part of life. They just want to explore the best out of life, and that's why you see, just like I mentioned when we started, this Lithuania is one of the countries that has the world most public holidays, like number of public holidays. And most times when you talk about, just like you mentioned, music, it's because these people have festivals that they observe on a yearly basis, and most times it is when it's time for these festivals which always happen during the summer period. That's when they give public holidays for you to have the best of your celebrations and festivals. And then that's where you see music also coming into play. That's when you see tradition, the culture come into play. You see traditional attires in their unique form. You see so many things. Is it the traditional dishes? Is it whatsoever you want to talk of? And most especially when you talk about religious activities, these people love religious activities, and they engage in all of these things. Like they make them so special, and like the best part of life for them. They celebrate it with all that they have, and that's why you see most of the Christian year calendar is observed in Lithuania, and it's always a big deal for them, most especially when you talk Christmas. When you talk Christmas, that's the time where you see Lithuanians at their best, trying to see that they have the best of their Christmas celebrations. And when you talk of Easter as well, even though that's always like more of a sober period for Christians, but these people always try to maintain this celebration mood in all that they do. That's why I believe that's why you can't hear them having issues of depression or people having high blood pressure and all of these things, because they have nothing to worry about. Even though, yes, they have some things that they worry about, but not what they take to heart, to the point where you have to like be ill out of some thoughts or some things that you have to worry about at the end of the day. And then these people try to balance family, work, and everything all together. That's why they set aside the weekdays for every other thing that they want to do. And then most times when you talk about after work, like in the evening time, you see these people always rushing to go back home because they want to have quality time with family. And then you don't get to see, like even among the rich people, these people are not fond of hiring servants or nannies and all of, even though some people have it, but on the highest part, like you see these people always doing all they have to do for their family by themselves. Like they believe in this culture of do it by yourself. And that's why you see most times when they are back from work, you see that the mothers or the wives are the ones who are in charge of the kitchen trying to get supper, and daddies are in charge of repairs. Like if there's any small thing or there's a wire spark somewhere, daddy would repair it rather than calling someone to come and do it. And that's why you see these people exploring in so many different diverse areas, because they have these things at their disposal, and then they can do some of these things for themselves rather than just waiting for experts. Yes, there are some things that you would have to wait for an expert to come and check. But there are some minor little things too that these people can handle by themselves. And then for most of the children who are in the kindergarten level or stage of life, they always spend their whole day in the kindergartens, because these parents would always drop them in the morning and pick them while they are going back home, except for some people, of course, or families who still have their grandparents around, and they keep these little children with them to take care of them. And you know how grandparents can be extra with everything, like the love they give is extra. Everything about grandparents is extra. Like, I really don't understand why it's like that.
I'm actually thinking maybe is, the older version of grandparents. Right now, the grandparents are not smiling. The grandparents are not smiling most times. Before you see a grandchild disrespecting the grandmom, and they're like, oh, he's my grandparent. And when you see a grandchild disrespecting the grandparent, they will know, okay, this is the grandparent.
Yes.
But right now, even the grandparents will teach you how to respect people, and then even how to respect them also. So it is actually a little bit different from, before. And I would prefer to have my parents, caution my children, tell them the right thing to do. I wouldn't want to, leave my child with my parents and then come back the next time the child is talking to me. And we are not in Europe, actually. So
really?
You have to, obey the rules and regulations we have here. Nah, not here. We are still here. So we have to obey the rules.
We are still here. We have to be the way we are. I mean, the Europeans are the way they are. And it's working for them. Yes, we all have our traditions.
Definitely.
And that's why these people actually, they respect tradition, they love their culture, and that's why you see they do it the way it works best for them. And then when you talk about all these things too, you can still talk about activities that they do outdoors, most especially on weekends. Like, Lithuania provides you with the best leisure activities that you could always think of or ever think of, because this is a place where some people, some expatriates, have chosen as their vacation home or holiday destinations, because they have all the best of leisure activities, outdoor activities. Yes, and just like I mentioned earlier, like, these people have one of the greenest cities in the world, and just imagine you going to just have a feel of the greenest environment. And all of these things are in a bid to just improve the quality of life, actually, because when you have a greener environment, trust me, the air you breathe will be different. Yes, it will be green. And everything within you is just fresh. And then everything is just refreshing. In the early morning when you wake up, the air, all of these things, when
that's
you just
why they enjoy jogging,
them,
they'll wake up in the morning, go out to run.
Like, instead of just rushing, I don't want to meet up with traffic and all of these things. You don't have to worry about all that. And this country actually is one of the countries that has so many interesting things. And then when you talk about countries like this, when you look at countries like this, you just wish that the world is like that. But we can't have it all, even though most times you cannot eat your cake and have it. But trust me, Lithuanians are eating their cake and they have it as well at the same time. And it's something that, yes, the whole world should experience. Like, God has given us all of these things, and we are supposed to have the best of them. We are supposed to experience the best of it. I know, yes, when we get to heaven, we wouldn't have to worry about all of these things. But I mean, God did not give us Jesus Christ so we can still be having all of these chaos and the things that are happening. And the good thing about it is the fact that we have the power to change things for our good. We have the power to do things better for ourselves, but we just have to ignore some things. We just have to shun greediness. We have to shun all of these things that will put self into it in order for us to come together and achieve the best for ourselves. And I believe that's what the Lithuanians are doing, actually, for them to have it all, for them them to like have the best of life. And you can see that they are enjoying it for themselves, and they're attracting people from other parts of the world
And you know,
to their country.
when we say they have it all, that does not mean they don't have poor people or they don't have people that are suffering there. But when you want to weigh it, you have to weigh the one that is more weighty. You know, that's the one you will use. And these people, most of these people, and then the environment, the conducive environment they are given, most of these people are actually enjoying the benefits of, is it natural resources, and then whatever the government has to give or to support these people with. And even the people that are in the countryside, you can't even call it a rural area or, you know, a village, because most of their places are countrysides where you would see ancient, what do they call it?
You see ancient monuments,
you know,
all
where
those
historic places areas, where you see people, you know, come there to, you know, see all those things and appreciate it. So it is more like even the village is actually a city there, and then the people there, you will definitely see people who are farming, but even when you see people who are into farming, you will not see people who are into, you know, that kind of very tedious form of farming, where you see people using manual labors, you know, people putting all the power, strength in whatever they are doing. And at the end of the day, you know, nothing will really come out. But these people, without any stress, you know, they can go to the farm because they are provided the equipment, they are provided whatever you want. You can meet the government, and then the government can provide some of these things for you. You know, with a negotiation that is actually even favorable for you too as a person. So, you know, these people are actually doing well. Doing well does not mean somebody, like everybody, even in the village, they eat from morning till night and then they have everything. No, but still you would definitely see good number of people having what they are supposed to have.
Madeline, countries that you hear us talk about how they are poor, it's not because everybody in the country is poor or everything about the country. Yes. So we will always look at the majority, because I mean the majority would always carry the vote. So that's why we measure these things like this. And then for Lithuania, you can't say that this is a country that people are suffering or struggling, even though you still have people who don't have it all. And that's why, in a bit to like balance everything, you will see that when you talk about public transportation, it is always limited to people who are not able to have their own cars or cannot drive. And then this public transportation is limited to them, and it makes it smooth at the end of the day, because you still have people on the lane where you can drive, you have your driveway for your private cars, and then you have where you can go and then get a public transport, and you go on your smooth journey at the end of the day. And that's why you will see they won't experience traffic on their way to work or wherever they are going at the end of the day. And you know,
most times you will see people, like there are people that organize cars. You can't see cars just being parked anyhow. There are people there who, you know, will lead you where to park, even though you pay.
And you know, one thing we're supposed to pick from this is the fact that there is commitment to like always do the right thing no matter what. There's that commitment, and that's the only thing we need actually, to just put our best in what we are doing.
You know, sometimes when you go, you like, if they're trying to tell you to park somewhere, but I just want to get this thing now. I'll leave this place now. I don't need to.
And you're violating the rule at the end of the day. But you know, it's not like these people don't also have lawbreakers. They do, but you can see that people who are kept in positions to manage stuff, to manage things, would always put in their best and insist on you doing the right thing, so that tomorrow when you come to that point, you wouldn't even want to be harassed by somebody. You would just want to do the right thing.
The scapegoats.
Yes, you would just want to do the right thing and ensure that you avoid any form of harassment and you go your way, and nobody would even talk to you because you're already doing the right thing. And then, unlike other Western worlds or other parts of the world where you see nightlife is another like part of life for people. You know, these people would always appreciate their nightlife, like maybe just going out for dinner, even though after independence they don't really fancy like you going out to eat supper outside there. It's better for you to eat with your family at home, and then you have your night time to sleep and rest for the next day's bustle and hustle. And that's why you see most times these people would always wake up with a brighter mind, because their night was managed well. And they would always, even though the nightlife would always be there for some people who still appreciate nightlife and they would want to always go out there, but the majority of Lithuanians would always spend their night with their family and stay back to just sleep on time so that they can wake up the next day refreshed and then go back to their daily activities. And that's why you see some major factories even close up, because you would not see, like you wouldn't see, you don't see common night shifts duties or work time with these people. Lithuanians don't really have that common night shift duties. Especially it's only when you go to hospitals, when you go to some places, key offices or professions where you need people working overnight, or maybe let's say the fire service and all of those people. But in general office duties and other businesses, they would always shut down when it's evening, for everybody to just go back home and have all the time that they need to have with their families. And the weekend would also be there for them to take all the break they would want to take at the end of the day. And then talking about breaks, you know, we would always have to take our own break too, because I mean, talking is another midday activity and we'll have to break in order to refresh.
You have to shut your mouth up.
Yes, like I just want to shut my mouth now. We'll see you after this break.
Kigara is over. I'm gonna break the
Break din da madama bara mu je ba.
Aga kawai. Please, so what to say for 1 hour. You better.
Wena daddy.
Kigara from tafi a 5.
Israel Daniel, Joe Flames, The Levites, Randy Mani, Tabitha Megandi, Ima Shabok, Paul Kofa, Smiling. It's Worship the King 2021, and the city of Gombe is hosting you and I. Equa Television Africa invites you to join in worshiping the only King with the Evangel Arts Gombe, Palm Monday, Autan Zaki, Deborah Micah, Ibi Dave, Raymond Diaye, Penam Bande, Kontongs, Mizzy Adams, Fred Quada, Naomi Musa, Israel Daniel, Joe Flames, The Levites, Randy Mani, Tabitha Megandi, Ima Shabok, Paul Kofa, Smiling Face, AB Vocals, James Sachs, Bayila Dalaki, Gift Jeb, Equa Gospel Band off Ashaka Road, Equa Praise Band Gospel GRA, Equa Praise Band Gospel Galilee Tumfre, Gospel Band Equa OG, Dynamic Drummers. With special prayer sessions for Nigeria, Gombe State and all its top government officials, political title holders or politicians, the church, businessmen, civil servants, families, and students by the Equa Executive and the leadership of Gombe DCCs. Date for the Worship the King is Friday 15th to Saturday 16th October 2021 at Equa Good News GRA Gombe, Gombe State, Nigeria by 2 p.m. daily, with a special music minister seminar and a media training on Thursday 14th October 2021 at 10 a.m. the same venue. Spend these 2 days worshiping the King and watch what happens to you next. Worship the King Gombe 2021 is brought to you by Equa TV Africa, Evangel Arts of Equa and its digital marketing platform Edins.com, supported by Gombe DCCs. The city of Gombe worships the King.
Walking around parks without a particular goal is a popular, yes, a very popular activity, weekend activity in Lithuania. Trust me, these people are chilling. Yes, that's the best definition
But you
of
know, Yepi,
Lithuanians.
actually, most times when you see people walking around, it's not
Without a goal,
like-
and you're
but you
just
know-
walking around. I mean,
well, maybe-
it's only when you don't have nothing to do that you would just be walking around the park.
But the goal is for you to have the peace of mind, you know, to clear your
But
head.
it's
and
without
then-
a goal, actually. Like, that's the
I
main thing
understand
I'm
that is what
emphasizing on.
that is what they normally say. Like you can just see somebody walking around without a goal, but actually, in the real sense, there has to be a goal because the
Magdalene,
person clears
trust
his
me,
head.
in Lithuania, these people have all the time they need to do whatsoever they want
No
to
matter
do.
how the
So
time you
on
have-
weekends, you see them walking without a goal because they have other days to have a goal.
But you know, at the end of the day, it has to be that you have achieved something.
Actually,
that's
yeah,
what I'm trying
yeah,
to
it's
say.
true.
So most times, you know, it's just like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. I don't have anywhere to be specific that I want to go, but I just want to have a walk. I mean, when you have a country that is as beautiful as this country, you would want to be walking on the street
And just having
seeing
a
some
feel
kind
of
birds,
the, yeah,
seeing the green,
the green
trees,
environments
you
and
know,
all of that.
The clean environment. You just want
Yeah.
to walk and just experience it. It's just
Of
like,
course.
and they are so used to it to the extent that you mostly see them like going out. You see like the older people. Most times, these people are kept in a health care center, and maybe during the weekend you will see like, okay, families going to visit their older people in the health center. You know, take them out for them to have the fresh air. You know, and then one-on-one time with the family. You know, most times these people don't really have like when their people are getting really old, and because of their work and all those things, they tend to keep them in some kind of hospital so that they can be taken care of. You know, they will provide everything that these people need there. But I would still say, you know, our older people, you know, most times when people are growing old, they become like children.
Yeah,
and it's
they
at
need
that
people
time, you
around
know, they will
them.
need people around them. But you can't beat it. People have to be busy. People have to put food on their table. There are so many things that, you know, go on in the lives of people that, you know, they have to take care of some activities, or they have to take care of some of some works, and you have to understand, and that is why these people are there. But, you know, most times they go there during their vacation, during their holidays, they go there, you know, to pick them up, go for vacation,
Yeah.
go for playtime. And another beautiful thing is like you definitely see these people by the beach side playing football, you know, just having fun with their families, talking about life, talking about what has gone wrong, what has gone right, and how to help families, or how to help another person that is struggling, or how to, you know, they just come up with solution to whatever problem they are going through. And you know, we always say these people are chilling, these people are what, but you know, definitely in the midst of all these things, you will definitely see sometimes somebody's struggle is not the money. Sometimes somebody's struggle is this child, you know, going into drugs because of bad influence, or maybe going into depression because of the social media. They are always like the young people always have one or two, you know, things to struggle, and you see that families come together as one, you know, to help tackle that situation.
Yeah.
You are not left alone. So most times you see that is in this kind of gathering, you know, bringing the family together, you know, they get to resolve some kind of problems or some kind of challenges the family is going through.
Yeah.
And when you talk about transportation also, they have actually a very smooth transportation system in their country, to the extent that apart from we said most times you see people, you know, staying around their homes for them to be able to go to school, to school or work early, but still yet you see that they have efficient transportation system. Even if it's for the short journey you are going for, you would still be comfortable even in the buses that you're taking, or if in fact your child can be alone, you know, your child can be using the bus to the house. You don't even have to rush going back to take your child, because already there is a school bus, or there is the bus that takes the child to school and then brings the child back to that environment. So you are safe. And when you talk about security and safety,
It's
people's
guaranteed.
lives are safe. You know, you don't have to be worried about, oh, this is as I'm going out this evening, am I safe? Where I'm going to, I hope there's
No on gunmen.
I hope bomb or something is not going
Or
to
non-gunmen.
explode or something. So many things that people worry about in some parts of the world, these people don't really worry about it. But still yet, you will see them worrying about other things also that,
Yeah.
has affected their lives. But still yet, you see, in the whole of this thing, their lives go on, because most of it is secured. Most of it is like, okay, they have been provided with high amount of security and then a little amount of insecurity. And most times the insecurity is, all these young people going into drugs, going into so many things that, their minds are actually messed up a little, to the extent that you see them doing some kind of things that is not necessary. And that is why, for the young girl child, it is very important that, they have to be careful going around, especially when they are alone. But even though it is in a rare case that you get to hear this kind of things happening.
1 out of 10, like you would always, not even up to 1, like half out of 10, because you would really...
You can exaggerate?
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to exaggerate actually, but like that's the reality. That's what is going on in Lithuania. And then you would just wonder, when you see countries like this, you would wonder, oh, am I really on the right planet? Are we on the same planet with these people? So that's just life actually.
You are on the plan of God. Definitely.
They are also on the plan of God.
Definitely.
Actually. And these are some of the things that people would just wonder and ask questions like, God, when? And God, why?
You ought to be grateful to God for your blessings to come.
Course,
and sometimes you see God removing you in some. For the fact that you are born in a situation doesn't mean you will die in that situation.
Of course.
Say amen, sister.
Speak, sister.
So, most times it doesn't have to be like, okay, you were born in this situation and you're going to die in there. God has a plan for everybody. And
I mean, Lithuania before now, it was not like that. And when you look at Lithuania from before independence and after independence, then you would see the difference. Like, the difference is clear, most especially when you talk of their health facility. Like, this facility or this sector has actually improved significantly when you talk of like after independence. And this is a country where the government provides free medical health care for all nationals. And when you talk of ancillary service, when you talk about pension payments and all of these things, even funding kindergartens and daycares, like just imagine a government funding kindergartens and daycare. Like, you just have to take your child there, and everything and everything that this child needs at that age is provided for the child. So you don't even have anything to worry about. That's why these children are so smart that even at age 8 they're already in school. Yes, but you have that peace of mind that even if they close from school, they know their way back home, and they will even get home safe. And these children would not just, like, when it's time for them to go home, they would want to divert to go somewhere and keep their parents worried. These children would close from school by around 2 or 3 p.m. and they find their way back home, and the parents will come back and meet them at home, especially for those except for those ones in the kindergartens where they have to be picked up. And you can be rest assured that even when you drop your child in the kindergarten, you would still go back and meet your child even better than you left the child. Like, the child is doing well. So look at how the healthcare already is. And then when you go back to education again, which is like one of the best too, you would see that children or peoples from age 15 and above are literate in the country. Why? Because like after independence from 1990, this initiative was introduced that all school children would go to school for free from kindergarten or whatever it is, whatever age it is that you start your school from, that age 6, that's primary school, to SS3, like finishing your secondary school, is free and compulsory. So even if you don't want to further your school after your secondary or high school, you already are literate and you have an enabling environment that you can also engage in other skills that you have interest in,
And,
just like the sporting activities that they love so much.
And hardly will you see a child growing up saying he or she does not want to go to school, because all their peers, go to school. And one thing with children is that most times what their peers do is what they want to do. So most of them are literate. So definitely you will be like, how can I be the odd person out of this? And it's in a negative way, not even in a positive way. Most times we want our growth, we want to outshine other people. And then just imagine that you will be the one that everybody is outshining and then you are down there. So they wouldn't want to be left behind. So most of them, try to do well in school so that they can achieve better results.
Of course, it's always about achieving better results at the end of the day. And that's why the country is doing so great. The people are doing so great. And they are trying as much as possible to explore all spheres of life and enjoy life to its fullest. And that's it for Lithuanians. We thank you so much for always tuning in and being a supporter of the Midday Show live on ECWA Television Africa. That's all we have for you as far as Lithuanians are concerned, a country in Eastern Europe. And we urge you to please stay tuned, stay glued to Airport Television, as we have so much more packages just for you. Don't forget, this week is for Worship the King. Are you in Nigeria? Are you in northern part of Nigeria? This is an opportunity for you to join us as we worship the King, and also the one-day multimedia training with a registration fee of just 1,000 naira, and you explore other skills and interests of what you have to do to improve the quality of life. I mean, we're all about improving the quality of life and the balance of work and home activities. Thank you so much for having us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.